We'll see.
It is.
Come on in.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry, let me close that door. Simon Baksys with ADP. How are you today?
Dr. Page. Nice to meet you, Simon.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet you
coming
as well.
by.
Of course.
Have
if
a
you might-
seat.
Thank you. I was going to ask if I could. So here's my business card, just so you have it for
Thank
future
you so
reference
much.
if you need my contact
Appreciate
information. Let me just kind of get my stuff together here.
Sure. Take your time.
Okay. So first and foremost, congrats on the new location. I know you guys
Thank
opened
you.
one up in Peachtree.
We did.
How was that?
It's going well so far. It's actually been really booming over there. We're thinking it might be kind of a stretch goal. We've been thinking in the next year or so about adding 5 additional employees to that location.
Oh,
It's
very
been
cool.
doing very well for us.
So business is good.
Business is very good.
That's good. Are you looking to open up more and expand more besides that, or?
We actually are, with the great success of the Peachtree location, we've been
Mhm.
thinking in the next couple of years, maybe opening an additional location in Tyrone as well.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to be respectful of your time, I know we spoke on the phone and we said 20 minutes. Is that still okay?
Yep, so I do have 20 minutes. I have a hard stop after 20 minutes. I have an appointment I have to run to, and I
Okay.
did save 20 minutes for you today.
Okay, so we'll be respectful of that. Does anybody else need to be here for you to make any decisions, or are we okay?
Yeah, so my husband, he does make all the decisions with me as well.
Okay.
I'm obviously the owner of Page Medical Clinic.
Mhm.
He runs kind of all the back office admin stuff. So I really did need him to be here today. We have 3 children, so I'm sure you can understand.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes things come up, so unfortunately he could not make it.
Mhm.
I will attempt to fill his shoes as best as possible, but
Okay.
we probably might not have a whole picture and might have to just run some things by him after we meet.
Okay, sounds good. So what I kind of like to do with those 20 minutes, if that's okay with you, is first just ask you a little bit about how you do business.
Yeah.
And then tell you a little bit what we do as ADP.
Absolutely.
And then if things make sense, we can talk about the next steps. Is that okay?
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay. So do you mind if I take some notes while I ask some
I
questions?
don't mind at all.
Is that okay? Okay, thank you. So first and foremost, I think the most prevalent thing is here. How do you currently handle payroll?
So payroll is done mostly all manually.
Okay.
My husband handles all of that. We have just manual time cards. He keys it all in himself.
Mhm.
Very time consuming, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
We don't do direct deposit. We
Okay.
just send out checks, so we have to sign off on those and send them out.
Okay. So and your husband is basically solely responsible for all of that.
Yes,
Part of the
yeah.
business. Okay. How much time would you say he spends on doing just payroll activities per pay period?
Per
let's
pay
say?
period, I'd say minimum of 6 hours.
Okay. And you guys have a bi-weekly pay
Bi-weekly,
period?
that's
Correct. Okay. So 6 hours. And what would you value your husband's time at, like, if you had to say hourly?
Hourly, I'd probably say $22 an hour.
$22. Okay. Do you like paying your husband?
No.
Okay. Now, as far as accuracy, is there any accuracy issues at all with doing it all by hand? I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of human error. Right?
Yeah, I mean, bless his heart, he does great, but there's obviously some issues. I'd say every pay period, well, actually, probably more like monthly. There's 4 checks that we have to void. There was an issue on. There's been an error. So that's not the best. Something that we would love to minimize.
Okay, absolutely. Well, I understand that's it's a common problem with any of our past clients that now we have solved for them.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something that we
Good.
see
That's
all
good
the
to hear.
time. Absolutely. Now, what about reporting? How does your reporting work as far as employee data and how it's entered and performance, everything of that
Yeah.
sort?
So again, my husband handles all of that.
Okay.
He just does it manually. That is probably the most time-consuming thing. I would say minimum he spends 15 hours weekly doing
15
that.
hours weekly. Wow.
Yeah.
Just on doing all that data.
Yeah,
manually,
updating the employee data and
Mhm.
logging all of that.
correct? Okay. That sounds like he has a lot on his plate.
He does. So it's supposed to be more of like a part-time position for him, and
Mhm.
he's supposed to be more of the stay-home dad, and it's becoming more and more time-consuming and less time at home with the kids.
Okay. Well, and again, something we can definitely help with. So that's good to hear that that's something you're interested in.
Absolutely.
What about taxes? How do you handle taxes? Is that also your husband's responsibility?
Yeah, so my husband handles all of that. Yeah, most of the tax administration that comes down to him.
Okay. And how much time do you think he spends on that?
He spends probably about 15 minutes per pay period on that. Probably around 2 hours a quarter on the quarterly filings.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just minutes that we don't really have to spare.
Mm-hmm. So was it fair to say about 20 hours a year?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we talked about reporting. Okay, so just to reiterate, we covered a few aspects of your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly your husband's responsibilities that hopefully we can alleviate for him. But we talked about payroll. He does all that manually.
He does, yeah.
And there's also a little bit of inaccuracy there that could be avoided. We also talked about reporting, correct?
Yeah.
And you said that's by far the most time-consuming thing for him, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Very inefficient, I would say.
Okay. And then the last thing we talked about was taxes. And you said that's about 20 hours a year, so not that much, but still a thing that if he didn't have to do that, that'd be nice, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially at this time of the year, right? It's February almost, so
yes.
Tax season is coming up.
Yes.
I'm sure he's got a lot on his plate. Okay, so to tell you a little bit about what we do, what we can offer at least in terms of those solutions, ADP stands for automatic data processing. So it's exactly all it really is. In terms of all those things that your husband does manually and spends those countless hours per week or per year on doing those activities, we can do everything automatically.
Okay.
And that's the really cool part with ADP. So first and foremost with payroll, everything is automatically processed. You can do it, we have a mobile application called Run.
Okay.
That you can use from anywhere. So that's, it's basically you can do anything on the run. I think that's what's behind the name. But it's good because you guys travel between offices, whether your husband is with the kids at home, right? If he needs to process payroll, it takes seconds. It's very easy to work with.
Is it pretty user-friendly, easy to understand?
It is. I actually do have, if you want to look at a demo.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can pull up the demo for you and just show you how easily it works. Okay. Okay. So here's the demo. Obviously you would sign in with your own ID if you were a member, but we'll go ahead and click demo. And if you want to click resume weekly payroll, so this is what your kind of interface would look like if you were using it. And here you can look at, you can choose the pay period, right? So which period you're doing it for, which week, what's the pay period, how long it is. And then you can activate direct deposit, which I know it's something that you guys don't have, so now you would, very easily implemented. If you want to click resume right there for me, it brings you to all the employees in your company. Obviously these are names that are just demo names.
Sure.
But information that you would have for each employee in your company.
Okay.
And you can edit everything from their hours to their, if you click on that right there, you can put in hourly rates, how many they work, their vacation, sick days, overtime hours, everything.
Okay.
So again, nothing, once you put that in, nothing has to be done by paper or manually. Everything is in here processing automatically. If you want to go back to summary for me, then go ahead and click preview, and then click calculate. Where's that warning? And right there, that's all you needed to do for all your employees, and you have the cash required to basically process payroll for that period.
Okay.
How easy was that?
Really easy, yeah. I think even my husband could figure that out.
And then if you want to click approve for me, and click approve payroll, that's it.
Okay.
One's been paid.
Okay.
So very simple to use, and again, the fact that you can use it on the go is probably the biggest.
Yeah, that would probably be huge for us.
Right.
I do have a question for you.
Absolutely.
Another issue that we have is with our paid time off, kind of logging all of that. Again, my husband does that manually.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of errors where we have employees asking for a paid time off where they haven't necessarily accrued it. It could just be an issue. Right now we're running a report every other month, so we have employees calling us, asking us how much paid time off they have. Is there a way that you guys could help us increase that as well? Is that included in this?
Absolutely. So it is included. It is included in running our payroll package.
Okay.
So again, very common problem that we solve for our customers. Everything is done through the app or the computer if you're stationary. We can input everything through there, and every employee with their distinct username, ID, and password can access that information, so they don't have to call you or bother you. They can look at it. Oh, okay. Well,
so there's no having
days.
to run a report or anything.
No.
They can immediately go and understand.
Again, automatically.
Okay, perfect.
Does that address that concern?
It does. Thank you.
Cool. So to move on, again, we kind of covered that, but the reporting will be all automated as well. Decrease all that human error on the employee data instead of your husband entering it manual. I'm sure he does a good job, but it's still better when it's all computer done.
It is, yeah.
And then another cool thing, tax will all be done for you. It will all be done automatically. We file it, we do the legal compliances. You basically have nothing to worry about. Those 20 hours a year, especially now that he's going to spend this period doing taxes, all taken care of.
It's huge as well. Perfect. Something we've also been thinking about is honestly just hiring an accountant to take care of all of this for us. Kind of being like a smaller business, family owned. I like having kind of one person responsible for it. It's been my husband, and obviously it's not going so great. So we were kind of thinking about maybe just hiring an accountant. I don't know if that's something that you've run into before. If you can maybe weigh out, how you would differentiate yourselves from an accountant.
I think with that thing, it's very simple. For a business that's smaller scale, such as yours, there's actually no need for an accounting department or say one accountant, just because everything can be done very easily, automatically through us.
Okay.
The other thing is, you're going to pay an accountant at least $50,000 a year. I mean, that's what accountants, that's the money they ask for. So again, with us, I'll get into pricing in a second. If you compare what we're going to charge you a year to what an accountant is going to charge you, those $50,000 or whatever salary you offer, it's a huge gap.
It is, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing the pricing and how that comes out.
Absolutely. So right before we get into pricing, just to kind of show you how much you can save by using our services, let's just go ahead and calculate what your husband is basically worth to the company and how much time he spends and what those activities are worth.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So you said that he spends about 6 hours per pay period on payroll, right? So we're going to go ahead and multiply that by 26 because there's 26 pay periods since they're bi-weekly. So we'll go ahead and get 156 pay periods. 156 hours, per year, right? So annually. Then you said he also spends about 15 hours weekly, correct? Just on the reporting and employee data, all that good stuff.
You got it.
So if you want to do that, 15, oh my god, my calculator doesn't work. Times 52, because that's how many weeks we have in a year, we're at 780 hours, right? So we'll add that to the 156 that we got earlier. And then plus on top of that, we got the extra 20 hours for taxes, right? So we'll have 800 plus 156. So we have a total of 956. So if you want to go ahead and multiply 956 times the hourly rate of your husband that you accredited as 22 hours, what did you get? $21,000. That's money that with us can be saved.
Yeah, it's a lot when you see it on there.
That's a big number, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what do you say we talk about pricing and show you what exactly your ROI would be?
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Okay. So we have a couple options here. We have just the payroll package, and the payroll plus the HR package is a little bit more expensive, but that offers various HR people management capabilities.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, obviously I'm very interested in what the cost would be, but as you can see, our efficiency is just horrible. So it's kind of like a two-tier interest here.
So would you want to just calculate for just the payroll package?
Yeah, let's do just the payroll package. Like I said, I'll have to run all these numbers by my husband anyway, but yeah, let's just start with the payroll package.
Okay. So real quick, we got $58.95 because you got about 35 employees, so you're in that bracket. $58.95, and we'll go ahead and multiply that times 26 again because that's how many pay periods you have in a year. You're looking at roughly $1,500.
Okay.
The number you got earlier that your husband does is 21,000. These again are rough estimates. Minus the 1,500, your ROI is $19,500 annually.
Yeah.
It's a big number, right?
It is a big number. It is.
Well, I'm glad you realize that, and not only are you saving a lot of money, but that time is very valuable too, because now your husband can spend time more with the kids and do various activities that
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And as well, the $19,000 can be invested in specialized equipment that I know you guys, you told me that you want to invest in, as well as maybe expanding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does all sound good?
Yeah, this all sounds really good. I think it sounds good. My husband will probably have some additional questions, so at this time I can't really give you an answer on anything. But yeah, this information has all been really helpful.
Okay. So, my thing is obviously this is mostly, it looks like, done almost for your husband, right? Because we're doing him a favor because it's all his time saved.
Yep.
You wouldn't think that you would like that taken care of for him? Like if you could come up to him and be like, hey honey, guess what? You don't have to work as much. We saved $19,000. I feel like he would really enjoy that.
I'm sure that he would. You'd probably have a million questions to ask me. He might have some things that I didn't even think to ask you about. So, as good as that sounds, really can't move forward with anything right now.
Okay. Well, and that's perfectly fine. What do you say we schedule another meeting that we can either get your husband in on as well, or just you again after you consult with him, and we can talk from there?
Yeah, I think the best next step would be for me to run all this by my husband and then set up a time where he can join us and kind of have a secondary conversation. Okay, so would you like me to call you and schedule a time once you kind of know when your husband's going to be available? Yeah, you can actually speak with my admin up front. She can help you come up with a time where I'm available maybe in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so I'll talk to her, and you said next couple of weeks, and I'll just go ahead and give you a call, and we can schedule something when you know that you guys' availability. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You have my business card. I'm always reachable by that number. Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you so much for meeting me, and I hope to talk to you soon. Yeah. Thanks for coming by. All right. Have a good one. You too. Good job. What do you think? It was long, I think. Was it? I don't think it was. I think it was right at 20 minutes. I don't know. Actually, I think we're okay. I think it was 10 minutes after. Yeah. So, okay. That's good. You're good. I think you're good on time. Feedback? I thought you did a really good job. You did really well, kind of like looping back in. You're like, oh, you said you want to buy specialized equipment. You said you have 3 children. So like really making it personal and kind of painting the picture. Like, here's how much money you're saving. Here's what you can do with that money, and making it specific for me. I like that a lot. You seemed really confident and really prepared. So kudos to you. You didn't really seem frazzled even when I threw a few things at you. You kind of seemed like cool, calm, collected. So that was really good. I thought you did a great job. God, that's awesome. Yeah, you did good. Are you relieved to be done? Yeah, I've just been having so much on my plate, and today is just right now I have to go home and I have 2 computer science assignments due at midnight. And it's long day. Yeah, it's kind of, and I had work today already, and it's just, Well, I couldn't tell. I thought you did good. I thought you did really well. Well, that's good. Thank you. Any negative feedback that I should improve on something? Maybe the way I talk or body language, I don't know. No, maybe the only thing, I think it was fine because I'm pretty tired too, so I was kind of low key. But I would just say if, make sure whoever you're talking to, that you kind of adjust your body language and adjust how you're talking based on how they are. You probably heard it before. It's like a psychology thing. If someone's standing a certain way, exactly, mimic it. So it wasn't a problem for me because I was kind of low key, but I could see how even if I was more high key, I don't know if you necessarily would have adjusted to that, because it kind of seems like that's just maybe how you are. You're just a little kind of relaxed. Yeah. So it worked really well for this. I would just think about in the future, if someone is a little bit more hyper, louder, kind of to mimic that behavior and be a little bit more excited about it.
Mhm.
But I thought it worked well. What you were doing today, I thought it was good.
Cool. Awesome. That's good to hear. Nice for you.
Thank you.
All done.
Good for you.